What's up, internet? Check out what I got today. It's the Sunwaytek controller. Now what's unique about this controllers are the buttons are mechanical switches. And a lot of controllers with mechanical switches are mice switches. This guy actually uses keyboard switches. So I can't wait to test it out. The packaging is pretty simple, there's not much to it. Okay, so this guy works on the Switch, Windows, Steam, Mac, Android, Linux, Fire TV. I think this is a Stadia simple. So pretty much it works on everything except for the PlayStation and the Xbox. Alright, let's crack it open. Alright, pretty simple. This guy is a pretty short USB-C cable. Okay, the controller itself comes nicely wrapped in this foam bag. Oh, you know the shape of it kind of reminds me of the Steam controller, how it curves inward. You see that? Cool. Check out the buttons here. These definitely are keyboard switches. They're linear switches, so it's not clicky. I wish it was clicky though. Look at how raised this D-pad is. Hopefully it's not bad. Okay, this acts more like a joystick than anything, honestly, because the D-pad's so tall. Man, yeah, I can already tell this D-pad is gonna be horrendous to use. Unless you're a joystick player, then you'll be right at home using this guy. The thumbsticks feel pretty good. Okay, they're nice and grippy. The shoulder buttons, they click in from both sides, so that's good, nice and clicky. These triggers are really light. Wow, they kind of remind me of the Xbox triggers. Is this guy wireless? How do you open this thing? Yeah, look, this guy is a wireless controller. How the hell do you open the battery compartment? Alright, the manual is pretty useful actually. It tells you how to connect to the Switch, to the PC, Android, and then iOS. And oh, it works on the iOS and iPad OS too. Check that out. And how to connect to the Mac. It doesn't tell you how to open up the battery compartment though. Golly. Okay, wait. Whatever, I don't want to break the controller. Maybe I just need to use some force, but I actually really like the color on this controller. There's a white, gray, and black. I think it looks really nice. The plastic on this guy seems like a quality kind of plastic. Not bad, not bad. There's a little bit of a pattern on the back here for grips. You can hear it. It's hard to see, but you can hear it. Yeah, there's no flex or anything. Looks like this really solidly built. So for comparison, I have the Steam controller here. You see how it kind of curves inward, right? Same thing with this controller. And the Steam controller is a lot bigger than this guy. Alright, I have the eSwap controller here, and the face button uses mice switches. You can hear it. Whereas this guy uses linear keyboard switches. It's actually really satisfying. If you play claw like this, I think this will work really well. You know what this reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of when you're playing like a trumpet or something, you know? Like a musical instrument. Look at that. Okay, so what do you say we plug this in and take it for a test drive? Alright, so immediately I noticed that you gotta click all the way for the D-pad to register. So if you go like this, you see how there's nothing happening. Think of it like an arcade stick. You can even hear the click too. In terms of the face buttons, you don't have to go all the way down. See, you can partially press and it'll register. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say it's a little strange because there's so much travel in these face buttons. I'm pretty sure if you're somebody who are used to playing fighting games on keyboards, you'll feel right at home here. So the triggers and the face buttons, whenever you press it and release it real quick, you can actually feel the spring springing up. You know those cheap metal springs that you find in pens, in clickable pens? Yeah, that's how it feels like. Dang, dang. The buttons register just fine. They just feel a little cheap because of the spring. Alright, let's test the double taps. You know, the double taps are surprisingly good. And the reason being is you can actually feel it. I don't know how I feel about this controller being caved in like this. It's caved in pretty hard actually. So this makes it really awkward for you to press the face buttons. So if you use your right thumb to press these buttons, so when just resting on the buttons, you see how my thumb is reaching down pretty far already, right? And to press them in, I gotta go even further. So I think if you have short thumbs, you're gonna have trouble reaching the Y button up here. Yeah, I think it looks cool, it makes it unique, but I'm not sure if it's functional being caved in like this. But on the other hand though, if you're playing claw like this, you're not gonna have any issues. Maybe this controller is designed for you to play like this. Alright, let's test the diagonals. Alright, you know, the diagonals are pretty good. I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm able to perform all of my normal combos. The only thing is I gotta press the buttons on the D-pads a little further than I'm used to. It's surprisingly good. You know, as awkward looking and as high as this D-pad is, I think it works really well. Alright, let's see if we can get into a match, because you don't really know how the controller performs until you can get into live action. Alright, here we go, let's go. A live person, hopefully they accept. Alright, let's do it. Damn it. Oh, what the hell was that? Oh shit. Alright, couple of things I noticed. You see how the size of the handles go up pretty high here? And the shoulder buttons actually curve downward. That makes it kind of difficult to press this, because this area kind of blocks your finger. Whereas with my SCUF controller, you see this? You see how it kind of slopes downwards, right? But this guy slopes the other way. So it's really fighting against you when you're trying to press these shoulder buttons. And same goes for the triggers actually. It's a little easier, but it's the same thing, because this thing goes up too high and the angle is sloped the wrong way. It's not very ergonomic or well designed at all. So pretty much all of the controllers I have, the shoulder buttons kind of slope down this way, or it's flat. And this one is both flat and sloping down a little bit. This is the only controller in my collection that slopes the wrong way. Just when you think you've seen everything, right? I've never seen this. And because of this design, you're really forced to use the tip of your index finger to hit these guys. And even then, as I hit the trigger, you see how the size here is hitting against my finger right there? Yeah, it makes it really uncomfortable. So even though this controller is small, if you're somebody who has short fingers, you're not going to be able to reach these guys up here. Another thing that I noticed is these face buttons are pretty small and close together. So sometimes I would want to press this button right here, but I end up accidentally pressing both of them at the same time. But I feel like this is something that you can get used to over time. The size though, you won't be able to get used to that unless you can grow longer fingers. You're not going to be able to get used to that. And the D-pad is fantastic. I cannot believe I'm saying that, but this thing works really well. and it's got this really satisfying click every time you click on it. It really gives you a good sense of feedback for each time you press on the direction. It's really good. Initially, when I got this controller, I thought it was going to be gimmicky. It's got like a keyboard switch for the face buttons, but the buttons are responsive, the D-pad is really solid, and as a whole, the controller performs really well. If only they slope the shoulder buttons and the triggers down this way, that would be a perfect controller. But overall though, I really enjoy this controller. It's very unique, it's very different, and it looks cool. It looks like a Frankenstein, you know? It looks like a science experiment. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more and take care now.